They whispered lies in your ear from the moment you could understand language. They told you wealth was dirty, that money corrupted souls, that dreaming of riches made you greedy. They planted seeds of shame around success and watered them with stories of struggle being noble. But what if everything you were taught about wealth was designed to keep you small? What if the very people who programmed your mind about money were trapped in their own prison of limitation? Listen closely, because today we're going to shatter those chains. Today we're declaring war on the programming that has kept you broke, kept you settling, kept you believing that abundance belongs to someone else. Because the truth they never wanted you to discover is this: wealth isn't something you chase, it's something you become. And becoming wealthy starts in the invisible realm of your thoughts, your beliefs, your inner world. Your mind right now is running software that was installed by broke people, scared people, people who gave up on their dreams and needed you to give up on yours so they wouldn't feel so alone in their mediocrity. But here's what they didn't tell you: that software can be deleted. Your mental programming can be completely rewritten. And when you change your inner world, your outer world has no choice but to follow. Every billionaire, every empire builder, every person who has ever created extraordinary wealth understood this one fundamental truth: riches are attracted, not pursued. They're attracted by a specific frequency, a particular way of thinking and being that acts like a magnet for money. And that frequency can be learned, developed, and mastered by anyone willing to do the inner work. Think about it. You know people who work incredibly hard but stay broke. You know people who are brilliant but struggle financially. You also know people who seem to have money flow to them effortlessly. The difference isn't intelligence, it's not background, it's not even effort. The difference is programming. The difference is what's happening between their ears. The wealthy think differently. They speak differently. They carry themselves differently. They make decisions differently. And most importantly, they believe differently. They believe that wealth is their birthright, not because they're special, but because they understand the laws that govern financial success. But before we can install new programming, we need to delete the old. You need to identify the toxic beliefs about money that are running in the background of your mind like viruses, sabotaging your success. Maybe you were told that money doesn't grow on trees, that you have to work hard for every penny, that rich people are evil, that spiritual people shouldn't want material things. These beliefs are like invisible chains, holding you back from the abundance that should naturally flow into your life. But chains can be broken, and today we break them. Let me share something that will change everything for you. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. That's why athletes visualize their performance before competing. That's why successful people spend time each day mentally rehearsing their desired future. Your brain literally creates neural pathways based on repeated mental images and emotions. This is how you reprogram your mind for wealth. You begin to live in your imagination as if you're already rich, not as a fantasy or daydream, but as a deliberate practice. You see yourself making decisions from a place of abundance. You feel what it's like to have financial freedom. You walk through your ideal wealthy life with such vivid detail that your subconscious starts to accept it as your reality. But here's where most people get it wrong. They try to visualize wealth while simultaneously doubting it's possible. They say affirmations while their inner voice is screaming that they're lying to themselves. You cannot reprogram your mind while holding onto the old programming. You cannot plant new seeds in soil that's still contaminated with limiting beliefs. The reprogramming process requires total commitment. When you catch yourself thinking poor thoughts, you immediately redirect. When you hear yourself speaking lack, you correct it. When you notice yourself acting from scarcity, you stop and choose abundance instead. This isn't positive thinking. This is mental discipline at the highest level. Wealthy people understand that money is simply energy. It flows to those who are aligned with its frequency and away from those who repel it with fear, guilt, and limiting beliefs. When you truly internalize this, you stop chasing money and start attracting it. You stop working just for a paycheck and start creating value that demands premium compensation. But attraction without action is just wishful thinking. The mind must be married to movement. As you're reprogramming your thoughts, you must also begin taking actions that align with your new, wealthy identity. You start making decisions like a rich person would make. You invest in yourself like a wealthy person would invest. You carry yourself like someone who expects success. This might feel uncomfortable at first. Your old programming will resist. It will whisper that you're pretending, that you're being fake, that you need to be realistic. That voice is the enemy of your expansion. That voice is the guard trying to keep you in your familiar prison of limitation. But you are not a prisoner anymore. Here's what happens when you truly commit to this reprogramming process. Your nervous system begins to expect wealth instead of fearing it. Your decision-making process shifts from scarcity-based to abundance-based. Your language changes from the vocabulary of lack to the vocabulary of plenty. And most powerfully, your energy changes. People can feel when someone has wealth consciousness. It's an energy, a frequency, a way of being that communicates confidence, value, and success. When you embody this energy consistently, opportunities begin to find you. The right people show up. Doors that were previously closed swing wide open. What once seemed like luck reveals itself to be the law of attraction in action. But let me warn you about something crucial. As you begin to change, as you start thinking and acting from abundance, some people in your life will resist your transformation. They'll try to pull you back to your old level. They'll remind you of who you used to be. They'll question your new confidence. This is normal and expected. Your growth threatens their comfort zone. Your expansion highlights their stagnation. Your belief in possibility challenges their resignation to limitation. But you cannot let their fear dim your light. You cannot let their smallness shrink your vision. You are not responsible for making others comfortable with your success. Surround yourself with people who celebrate your growth, who believe in your vision, who inspire you to think bigger. If you can't find those people in your immediate circle, find them through books, podcasts, seminars, and online communities. Feed your mind with stories of success, strategies for wealth building, and philosophies of abundance. Your environment shapes your mindset more than you realize. If you're constantly around people who complain about money, who believe the economy is rigged, who think success is for other people, you will unconsciously absorb those beliefs. But if you immerse yourself in wealth consciousness, if you study how successful people think and act, you will naturally begin to embody those same patterns. This is why the rich get richer. It's not just about having money to invest. It's about maintaining the mindset that created the wealth in the first place. They understand that wealth is not just about what you have. It's about who you become in the process of acquiring it. Now let's talk about the role of emotion in this reprogramming process. Thoughts without emotion are just wishes. But thoughts charged with powerful emotion become commands to your subconscious mind. When you imagine your wealthy future, you must feel it in your body. You must generate the emotions of success, freedom, and abundance. Feel the relief of never worrying about money again. Feel the excitement of being able to help others generously. Feel the pride of achieving something extraordinary. Feel the peace of financial security. These emotions are not just byproducts of wealth. They're the magnetic force that draws wealth to you. But here's something most people don't understand about emotions and money. You cannot attract wealth while feeling guilty about wanting it. You cannot magnetize abundance while believing you don't deserve it. You cannot call in financial success while carrying shame about your desires. Wanting wealth is not selfish. It's actually generous. Because when you have money, you can help more people. You can support causes you believe in. You can create jobs for others. You can leave a legacy that lasts beyond your lifetime. Money in the hands of good people creates a positive ripple effect that touches countless lives. So release any guilt about wanting to be rich. Release any shame about dreaming big. Release any fear that success will change you for the worse. These are all programs installed by people who never learned how to create wealth themselves. You are rewriting those programs now. As your mind becomes reprogrammed for wealth, you'll notice something incredible happening. You'll start seeing opportunities everywhere. Problems will look like business ideas. Challenges will appear as chances to create value. Your brain will literally be rewired to spot wealth-building possibilities that were always there, but invisible to your old programming. This is what separates the wealthy from the broke. It's not that opportunities don't exist for everyone. It's that only those with wealth consciousness can recognize and seize them. When your mind is programmed for abundance, you develop what I call prosperity vision, the ability to see potential where others see problems. But recognition is just the first step. You must also develop the courage to act on these opportunities. Fear will try to keep you playing small. Doubt will whisper that you're not ready. Perfectionism will tell you to wait until conditions are ideal. But wealthy people understand that readiness is not a prerequisite for action. It's a byproduct of it. You become ready by moving forward despite uncertainty. You develop confidence by taking risks that others won't take. You build belief in yourself by doing things you weren't sure you could do. This is how ordinary people create extraordinary wealth. Let me share with you one of the most powerful reprogramming techniques used by the ultra-successful. It's called acting as if. You begin acting as if you're already the wealthy person you're becoming. You make decisions like someone who has unlimited resources. You carry yourself like someone who expects success. You speak like someone who has already achieved their financial goals. This isn't about pretending or being fake. This is about stepping into the identity of your future self now, because your identity determines your reality. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with money, you'll unconsciously sabotage opportunities for wealth. But if you see yourself as someone who naturally attracts abundance, you'll automatically make choices that support that identity. Your daily habits must align with your new wealthy identity. Wake up early like successful people do. Exercise like wealthy people do. Read like millionaires read. Network like billionaires network. Invest like the rich invest. Every choice is either programming you for wealth or programming you for poverty. Choose wisely. But let me be clear about something important. This reprogramming process is not about quick fixes or overnight transformations. It's about consistent, persistent, relentless commitment to changing how you think, feel, and act around money. It's about showing up every single day to reinforce your new wealthy programming until it becomes so deeply embedded that acting any other way feels impossible. The truly wealthy understand that riches are not a destination. They're a way of being. They don't become rich and then stop doing the things that made them rich. They continue to grow their wealth consciousness, continue to think abundantly, continue to act from prosperity even when they have more money than they could spend in multiple lifetimes. This is your new standard. Not to get rich and then relax, but to become someone who continuously expands their capacity for wealth. Because when you understand that money is just a reflection of the value you create in the world, you realize that there's no limit to how much you can earn by becoming more valuable. As we near the end of this reprogramming session, I want you to understand something crucial. Everything I've shared with you today is not theory. It's the actual methodology used by every self-made millionaire and billionaire who has ever lived. They may not have called it reprogramming, but that's exactly what they did. They changed their relationship with money. They transformed their beliefs about what was possible. They aligned their thoughts, emotions, and actions with abundance. And as a result, abundance flowed into their lives with mathematical precision. You now have the same knowledge they had. You now understand the same principles they understood. The only difference between you and them is that they took this knowledge and applied it relentlessly until their outer world matched their inner vision. That is exactly what you must do now. Your wealth journey begins in your mind. It begins with the decision to no longer accept limitation as your reality. It begins with the commitment to think, speak, and act from abundance, regardless of your current circumstances. It begins with the understanding that you are not a victim of external conditions. You are the creator of your financial destiny. The programming that kept you broke is being deleted right now. The new programming that will make you rich is being installed as we speak. But this is not a one-time event. This is a daily practice, a way of life, a commitment to excellence in every area of your thinking and being. From this moment forward, you are not the same person who started listening to this message. You are not bound by the limitations of your past. You are not confined by the beliefs that held you back. You are unlimited. You are abundant. You are wealthy in consciousness, and that wealth consciousness will manifest as physical wealth in your life. The universe is conspiring to make you rich. Your subconscious mind is now programmed for prosperity. Your thoughts are magnets for money. Your emotions are attracting abundance. Your actions are creating wealth. And your new identity as a wealthy person is becoming your reality. Go now and live from this new programming. Speak like the wealthy person you are. Act like the abundant being you've become. Make decisions from prosperity consciousness. And watch as your external world transforms to match your internal revolution. The old you is dead. The new you is wealthy. And this is just the beginning.